America is turning from the mere thought of the material advantage to a greater appreciation of the cultural advantage of learning. It is becoming valued more and more for its own sake. People desire not only the intelligence to comprehend economic and social problems, but are finding increased leisure is little more than time wasted in indulgence, unless an opportunity for self-development and self-expression has been provided in youth by the cultivation of a taste for literature, history, and the fine arts. Teaching is one of the noblest professions. It requires an adequate preparation, training, patience, devotion, and a deep sense of responsibility. Those who mold the human mind have wrought not for time, but for eternity. The obligation which we owe to these devoted men and women who have given their lives to the education of the youth of our country, that they might have freedom through coming into a knowledge of the truth, is one which can never be discharged. They are entitled not only to adequate rewards for their service, but to the veneration and honor of a grateful people. The encouragement of support of education is peculiarly the function of several states. While the political units of the district, the township, and the county should not fail to make whatever contributions they are able, nevertheless, since wealth and resources of different communities vary, while the needs of the youth for education in the rich and the poor country are exactly the same, the obligation of society towards them are exactly the same. It is proper that the state treasury should be called on to supply the needed deficiency. The state must contribute, set the standard, and provide supervision if society is to discharge its duty not only to the youth of the country, but even to itself. The cause of education has long had the thoughtful solicitude of the national government, while it is realized that it is a state affair rather than a national affair. Nevertheless, it has been provided by law a Bureau of Education. It has not been thought wise to undertake many collect money from various states into the national treasury and distribute it again among the various states for direct support of education. It has seemed better a policy to leave the taxable resources to the states and permit them to make their own assessments for the support of their own schools in their own ways. Before a long time, the cause of education has been regarded so important and preeminently an American cause that the national government has sought to encourage it, scientifically to investigate its needs, and furnish information and advice for constant advancement. Pending before the Congress is the report of a committee which proposes to establish a Department of Education and Relief, to be presided over by a cabinet officer, bearing in mind that this does not mean any interference with local control, but is rather an attempt to recognize and dignify the importance of educational effort. Such proposal has my hearty endorsement and support. It is thus our educational system has been and is ministering to our national life. Our country is in the process of development. Its physical needs are incomplete. Its institutions have been declared, but they are far from being adopted and applied. We have not arrived yet at perfection. A scientific investigation of child life has begun, but yet remains to be finished. The vast amount of ignorance and misunderstanding, of envy, hatred, jealousy, and their attendant train of vice and crime. We are not yet free, but we are struggling to become free, economically, socially, politically, spiritually. We have limited our amount of immigration in order that people who live here, whether native or foreign origin, might continue to enjoy the economic advantage our country has, and that there may not be any lowering of the standards of our existence, that America might remain American. We have submitted an amendment to the National Constitution designed to protect the child life of the nation from unwarranted imposition of toil, that it might have a greater opportunity for enlightenment. All of these movements are in the direction of increased national freedom, and an advancement towards the realization of the vision of Washington and Lincoln. A new importance is attaching to the cause of education. A new realization of its urgent necessity is taking hold of the nation. A new comprehension that the problem is only beginning to be solved is upon the people. A new determination to meet the requirements of the situation is everywhere apparent. The economic and moral waste of ignorance will little longer be tolerated. This awakening is one of significant development of the times. It indicates that our national spirit is reasserting itself. It is a most assuring evidence that the country is recovering from a national exhaustion of the war, that it is rising to a new life, that it is starting a new course. It is intent, as never before, upon listening to the word of the teacher, whether it come from platform, schoolhouse, or pulpit. The power of evil is being broken. The power of truth is reasserting itself. The Declaration of Independence is continuing to justify itself. Thank you.